Hello again. So the title of the last chapter is Screwed, and the letters in chapter 24 are E, U, B, M, R, L. So see what words you can come up with using those letters. Cosmo pulled up beside our place just a few minutes later. Amanda got out of the passenger seat and yanked it forward so I could climb out of the back. "Congrats again, kiddo," she said. "Your mom's going to be awfully proud of you." Cosmo got out too and gave me a bear hug. "You rock, word nerd." Amanda got back into the car. Cosmo was heading around to the driver's side when a voice came out of darkness. "Cosmo?" Cosmo turned. Like some sort of ghoulish phantom, Silvio materialized from behind a tree, and he wasn't alone. Two other tough-looking guys flanked him, one on either side. They looked like the Three Stooges, only older, bigger, uglier, and way scarier. "Silvio," said Cosmo calmly. "This isn't a good time." "That's the problem, my friend. There never seems to be a good time." "I've been busy. I want my money. And you'll get it. I've already given you $300. That's not even paying off the interest." "Come on, Sil, I just got full-time work." "What's going on?" Amanda had gotten out of the car and was walking towards us. "Amanda, wait in the car," said Cosmo. "Who are these people?" "Just a little misunderstanding." Silvio sneered. "This your lady friend?" He turned to Amanda. "What's a sweet thing like you doing with a scumbag like him?" He reached out to touch her arm, and Cosmo whacked his hand away. "Don't touch her." Silvio's eyes flashed with anger. "She know about your previous occupation?" "Yes, I do," Amanda said, trying to sound calm, but I could hear the quaver in her voice. "And she still stays with you? Contrary to what some of your ex-girlfriends told me." "You must be a really good person." His buddies laughed. "Shut up," I said. Actually, I only meant to think it, but it popped out of my mouth. Silvio and his goons turned and looked at me. "What's with your midget friend, Cosmo?" "You develop a taste for boys when you were in prison?" Cosmo took a step towards Silvio with his fists raised, but goon number 1 quickly moved in and held him back. "You're high," said Cosmo, looking into Silvio's eyes. "Screw you," said Silvio. "I'm going to call the cops," I blurted, which in retrospect was not the best thing to say because goon number 2 grabbed my arms and pinned them behind my back. I couldn't move and it hurt. "Let him go," Cosmo said. "Let him and Amanda leave. They won't call anyone." Silvio laughed. "I've tried to be generous with you, Cosmo. I've given you other options, and I've told you I'm through with that life." "Then I have no other choice but to show you how serious I am about wanting my money," Silvio said, as he took a step closer to Cosmo. Suddenly, Amanda stepped right in between them, which I thought was really brave. "What does he owe you?" $2,000. With interest, it's more like $2,500. "I can get you that money first thing tomorrow morning," said Amanda, "as soon as the bank's open." "Forget it, Amanda. I'm not taking your money," Cosmo said. "You can pay me back," Amanda said, "without interest." "I have about $150 in quarters saved up," I piped in, thinking about my quarter jar. "It was supposed to go to my education fund, but you can have that too." "No. No one's bailing me out." Suddenly, and without warning, Silvio punched Cosmo hard in the gut. Cosmo doubled over in pain. When he straightened up, goon number 1 punched him in the face. Cosmo tried to defend himself, but it was 2 against 1. When Silvio punched him in the stomach again, Cosmo fell to the pavement. Amanda screamed. I screamed. Goon number 2, the guy who was holding me, put a big hairy hand over my mouth. I bit down hard and he let go, and I managed to squirm free. Then I leapt onto Silvio's back because he was raining down blows on Cosmo, who was still lying on the ground. "Stop it! Stop it!" I screamed. Then I hit his head repeatedly with my most promising newcomer trophy. Finally, he stood up and twisted his body back and forth, trying to get me off his back. As I hung on for dear life, I could see goon number 1 kicking Cosmo as he lay on the ground, and Amanda whacking the goon with her purse. Then goon number 2 grabbed me from behind and pulled me off Silvio's back. I landed hard on the ground and my trophy flew out of my hand and hit the driveway. Looking up, I saw the hose coiled up at the side of the house and I had an idea. I crawled over to it, grabbed the nozzle, and turned on the water full blast. I started spraying them all, trying to avoid Amanda and Cosmo, but that was easier said than done. And if I'm totally honest, even though I was terrified, I felt more alive than I ever had in my whole life. Suddenly, sirens filled the night air. Next thing I knew, 2 cop cars pulled up out front. Silvio and his goons actually tried to make a run for it, but who were they kidding? The cops told all of us to get down on our knees and put our hands behind our heads, just like in the movies. Aside from me and the cops, everyone was drenched. Cosmo was really bashed up. A bunch of neighbors had gathered on the sidewalk to watch. And that's pretty much what things looked like when, seconds later, my mom came home.